supposed to be. We were supposed to be. We were supposed to be an empire. What is love? If you're not here with me, what is love? If it's not guaranteed, what is love? If it's just us and leave, what is love? What is love? If you're not really sure, what is love? If it's just us.
Good night, welcome to Heart of the Matter. Yes, you're hearing a different voice tonight. I am your host for tonight, Ramesh. I am normally the person that's behind the scenes.
Starts here. Search products,
I'm normally the person who's
manufacturers, or
behind
regional
the
suppliers on
scenes,
Ali.
you know, setting up the sound, ensuring that everything runs smoothly. But tonight we're gonna switch it up a little bit. So, giving Jovel the night off, and tonight we're gonna be focusing on something different, which is we're focusing on the men tonight. As you know, Father's Day is coming up this Sunday. And so I just want to, it's a little early, but I just want to start reflecting on fatherhood. So tonight, you know, you can just sit back, relax. Those of on Presence Radio, you're hearing my voice right now. You can just relax, enjoy the show. Those of you on TikTok, you're seeing me as well. And, you know, we're going to hold a reason. I'm going to play some music, and yeah, it's just a nice chill vibe tonight. But tonight I just want to focus on fatherhood, and I really do want to share a few thoughts tonight. Just some things that I've been thinking about for the past couple of weeks, and I just wanted to share them with you. You can also feel free to give your comments, your feedback. And so I was looking at, I was doing some reading this week, and I was looking at an article by Well Roots Counseling, and it's talking about the 3 P's of fatherhood. And I thought, wow, that's actually pretty interesting. The 3 P's of fatherhood. And what those 3 P's are, it's provider, protector, and permanence. Now, we normally hear about these stuff, you know, in terms of fatherhood and what to expect and what father's supposed to do. But tonight I'm going to go a little bit deeper. So it's not the typical stuff that you normally hear where, you know, man have for work and make sure so the house taken care of. Like, yeah, we hear that, but there's really more to it. And I just wanted to share a few thoughts regarding that. All right, so we just want to get the show started. And yeah, as I said, it's a chill evening. You know, just relax. You can share with somebody who needs to hear this program tonight. And you know, I want to hit fatherhood from a different perspective. So if you're a child and you're listening tonight, you're probably gonna be hearing things that, okay, yeah, my father does this, or my father doesn't do this, or maybe you never had your father present in your household, and you're thinking, yeah, these are stuff that I think I do need, or I'm like, yeah, a father's supposed to be that. Or you may also be a female, and you are looking for a husband, or you desire one day to have a husband. And you know, women tend to wonder, like, what kind of father would he be, right? Because you don't want just have a child for any man. You want to know what are some of the traits maybe I could look for that would make this guy be the right fit. You know, I believe that tonight what I'm sharing can also help to provide, you know, some perspective on that. So that is also something that you can look out for. So we're just gonna kickstart the show tonight. Playing this song
a leading
by
B2B e-commerce platform for global trading.
Our Father. So you can listen.
Procrastination isn't your fault. It's a broke mentality fueled by self-doubt. You keep putting things off, not because you don't. The words of Christ
And welcome to all those who are tuning in, whether you're tuning in from Presence Radio or you're tuning in from TikTok or maybe you're tuning in from Facebook. This is Heart of the Matter and I'm your host Ramesh, and tonight we are focusing on fatherhood. So enjoy the show.
We hold each fast, your faithful provision. Amazing grace, mercy for our sins. May we forgive the way that you've forgiven us, oh Lord, so we can see our Father. Hallowed be your name, forever, our God, be exalted.
And if you have any song requests tonight, you can feel free to also put that in the chat and we can play it for you.
Our Father, lead us from the valley of temptation, deliver us from the evil one. Lord, you reign, and here we stand victorious in your name. Together we pray. Our Father, hallowed be your name. Forever, our God, be exalted. Your kingdom come, and in us let your will be done. Our Yours is the kingdom and power and glory, God of authority, ancient of days. Yours is the wisdom and honor forever and always. Yours is the kingdom and power and glory, God of authority, ancient of days. Yours is the wisdom and
Yes, tonight we're talking about the 3 P's of fatherhood. But how can we start talking about fatherhood without talking about the ultimate father? And so yes, we have to give praises to our Father because He is the ultimate Father, the Father above all fathers. Yes. As I said, God is the ultimate Father. And so we can't talk about fatherhood without talking about the Lord Himself, who really has set that example for us men to follow. So tonight I just want to share with you, if you're just joining the live or you're just joining from Presence Radio, tonight is a special Heart of the Matter men's edition. And we are focusing on fatherhood in the celebration of Father's Day coming up this Sunday. And I just want to make it known though that it's not that you celebrate fathers one day alone out of the year, but just like Mother's Day and and other special occasions, do take a day out of the year just to highlight and to focus on those men who have been there in your lives, those who have been that father figure, those who have helped you to become the person that you are today, and you just want to big them up. That's the whole purpose of the day. And so I just wanted to take our minds a little bit, just thinking about fatherhood and what does that mean. And there are three ideas that I wanted to share tonight. And it's a 3 P's of fatherhood: provider, protector, and permanence. And I believe that these 3 P's really encapsulate what it means to be a dad. And so the first one I wanted to look at was provider. Like, we hear the word provider, I know the first thing coming to your mind is like, yeah, you need to make sure say my work and provide, so you can have food to eat, you can go to school, bills are paid, all of these things. And that is great, that is true, that is important, because if daddy not doing that, that's at least the first thing, first area that you're falling short in. But I wanted to take it even further than that. So yes, it does entail ensuring that the house is run properly financially. But if you look a little bit broader, I'm going to cover some areas now. So you're looking at financial security. As I mentioned, the bills paid, all of that, resources. But what about the emotional and the spiritual provision? And so as a father, the job goes beyond just ensuring that things get put in the house. You want to make sure, say, emotionally, your kids are good. And spiritually. And I want to even zone in more on the spiritual part, because I think that's the one area that gets neglected, especially in today's world. Because, if you yourself as a man, you're having that struggle in your spiritual journey, it is hard for you to then reflect that on your children and your household in general. And so that really starts with your relationship with God. What kind of spiritual foundation do you have? Is it a case whereby you're grounded in what you believe? Is God really the anchor of your soul, of your life? Every decision, every thought process, everything that you do, is that anchored in something spiritual? So I'm really saying is, as a man, do you have that anchor, that foundation that really sets the course for everything that you do in life? I'm somebody who believes that what you believe, what your worldview is, that will determine how you live. And so it's what you believe that determines how you live, the decisions that you make, the friends, the company that you keep, when you come on to moral decision, the things that you'll do. So, if you aspire to be a dad one day, or you're a dad already, those are things to think about. Like, are you going to provide that? Are you willing to provide that? Are you going to work on providing it? Because we're not perfect, I am a dad of 2 young children. And I can tell you it's hard. There are days when I am just out of it, spiritually, not where I need to be. And it is hard to reflect that on my children. But as young as they are, it's important that they get spiritual nourishment. Important that they go to church with the devotions, all of these things, because that's what's going to help them growing up. So, of course, it's really important. But, that's just something to think about emotionally now. That is also very important. What are you providing for your children emotionally? Fathers are crucial in offering emotional and spiritual support. It includes helping your kids navigate life's ups and downs, listening to them. That one is so important, just listening. Having a father that listens to you. You're going through something, or you have a decision that you want to make. You want somebody you can just go and hold a reason with. And especially as a father, boys especially. Sometimes there's something you want to talk about, but maybe mommy might not really understand that way, or maybe how you want to explain it. Mommy not going to really understand how you would express that. That it might be somebody who is better to go to in that moment, and that's understandable. Or just somebody you have, any male figure. I'm not just talking about biological dads now, but just any male in your life that you consider to be that influence, somebody that you look up to who have your best interests at heart. That's what I mean, right? Are you providing that? Are you able to provide that? Whereby you can listen to them, you create a supportive environment. Your involvement deeply affects their emotional and spiritual well-being. So, I just want us to think beyond just providing physical things. You aspire to be a father one day is not an easy job. And there's just so much more to it. And that is something I am learning. Even though I'm speaking now, like that is something I'm learning. And I mean it's not easy, but one thing I know is that God gives us the tools to actually get these things done. But we have to listen, we have to work on ourselves as well. So yes, I just wanted to share that in terms of providing. So it's financial security and resources, as well as emotional and spiritual provision. And if you're providing those things, or that's what you're thinking about, then you actually get the first P right. Because that is so critical to the development of any child. I just wanted to share another song with you. This song is called Run to the Father. You can take a listen, especially the lyrics. A special hello again to those who are just joining us. I'm just reminding you this is a Father's Day special, and we're focusing on fatherhood, the 3 P's of fatherhood, and the first one was being a protector.
I wasn't created to bear it alone. I hear your invitation to let it all go. Yeah, I see it now, I'm laying it down, and I know that I need you. I run to the Father, I fall
Yes, and while we're also on the topic of being a provider, so for those who are just joining in, this is Heart of the Matter, and we're live on Presence Radio, TikTok, and Facebook. And we're talking about the 3 P's of fatherhood. And the first P that I was talking about was a father being a provider. And, I was discussing that it's not just the financial aspect of it, but also emotional and spiritual. And also something that I was thinking about as well, in terms of providing, like as a father, you want to provide also opportunities for your child to grow. Now, what do I mean by providing opportunities? Well, I mean, for those of us who are adults now, right? I mean, what a difference it makes when your parents can actually help to give you a start in life. So I'm not just talking about just sending you to school. That is a big part of it. But, identifying things that you're good at from early and investing in those things. So whether it be a talent, sports, music, whatever it is, they see that you're good at it and they start developing you from early or giving you the opportunities to develop. That way from an early age, you have already started on that journey of what your purpose will be later on. And so when you become an adult, it's a little easier to navigate the world because doors start to be opened. You start to meet the right people, you go in the right places, and then things can start to happen for you early. That way, maybe not in your 20s trying to figure out what you want to do with your life. Or it comes to a point now where, well, you just need to earn, so you're just gonna go and just take a job. If you as a parent can provide that much earlier in life, it don't always work out, But I'm just saying from the parent standpoint, like as a dad, this is what you want to do, to contribute to giving a child that start. You want to provide the opportunity. That's really what it is. What the child does with the opportunity, that's up to them. But you want to provide that opportunity. And that involves actually knowing your child, because you can't provide an opportunity for growth if you don't know what that child is good at so that they can grow in. And so, I just want to add that in there, that I think that's important as well. You want to introduce them to new experiences too, because the other thing is, they might not know what they're good at, they might not know what their skill is, but they won't know unless they're introduced to different things. So the more exposure they have early, the better it is, because then they will figure out their purpose early. So you're really guiding them into the future, in that sense. And so, when you think about providing, it is just so vast. There's so many things that you can and need to provide. And yeah, it can be overwhelming. You wonder where to start from, but it's just the fact that there's so many ways that you can provide. So, a lot of times I hear men say, well, when I have this, when I have that, and there's always the focus on what you don't have. But I can tell you that there will be something that you can do. So even if you can't provide the full monetary support, it doesn't involve money to provide for your child emotionally. It doesn't involve money to provide for your child spiritually. And these are things that are very important. So I just want to maybe break that stereotype, because a lot of times when I talk to men, the first thing they talk about is money. And life is so much more than just money. What are you imparting on your child that they can carry on later on in life? Because really and truly, they're also a reflection of us, in many ways. So, of course, what we do now impacts later on. So I just wanted to put that in there. I see more people joining in. Just want to welcome those who are just coming in. You missed the first part, and that's okay. That I normally recap. But we're talking about the 3 P's of fatherhood. And I wanted to share another song with you. It's Made Away by Travis Green. Most of you probably know it. But again, it just feeds into the theme of fatherhood, because that's what fathers do. Fathers make a way. Even when it seems like there's no way, even when it seems like things are not gonna come through, it does at the right time. And I know that from my experience, even growing up, at the time there were things that need to be done, and my parents never know how it would have happened. But at the right time, not the last minute, at the right time, things happen. So you have to believe and never give up.
Nothing can catch you by surprise. You got this figured out, and you're watching us now. And when it looks as if we can't win, wrap within your arms and step in. Everything we need you to supply. You got this in control, and now we know that you made our way. When our backs were against the wall, and it looked as if it was over, you made our way. And we're standing here only because you made our way. You made a way. Now we're here, looking back on where we come from. Because of you and nothing we got to deserve the love and mercy you show. But your grace was strong enough to pick us up, and you made our way. When our backs were against the wall, and it looked as if it was over, Lord, you made a way. And we're standing here, and we're standing here.
Yes, don't forget, even when it seems like it's impossible, God makes a way. So don't ever give up, don't ever lose hope.
When our backs were against the wall, and it
Things are not always what they seem, and so you can't just use your eyes alone,
and we're standing here
but you must believe.
only because
Good things come to those who believe. No, that's not scripture I'm quoting, but when you believe, you put in your trust in God to do the impossible, because what's impossible for us is more than possible for Him.
there is nothing
Yes, in all your ways, remember Him. Remember how you got that job. Remember how you got that promotion. Remember how you have all that you have. It is because of him. It's because he made a way. I said, do not forget Christ in all that you do. Always give thanks.
You move mountains. You move mountains.
Yes, it's not raw strength alone to this thing, you know. This thing called life. You need more than just your raw strength. It is he who moves mountains. It's he who can just make things happen. Just the sound of his voice. He said, let there be light. And there was light. So who else can you trust and put all your trust in? But the one who just by his word caused all that we see to be in existence. Yes. He makes a way. Even when it seems impossible, God makes a way. And tonight we're talking about fatherhood here on Hearts of the Matter. If you just join in, we're talking about the 3 P's of fatherhood. And the first one was provider, is protector, and permanence. So now we're talking about what it means to be a protector. And this is also something I was thinking about, that I really am passionate about being a protector. Again, there's normally when we think about protecting, we just think about physical security in that, yeah man, make sure say, you know, the place secure and nobody can physically harm them, and that is all good, that is great, that is how it should be, ensuring that our children, our family is safe from all harm. But you know, protection goes beyond even just the physical, right? So yeah, you want to ensure that whatever environment your family is in, that yes, they are secure. Your role as a protector is vital for your family's safety and well-being. But you see, it's not just physical protection, but it's also emotional and social protection. So you see, this thing goes way beyond what we normally hear about. So creating that healthy environment at home is part of your duty. Yeah, talking to the men tonight, because a lot of time these things, men might say, oh, woman, something of that, man. Come on to things in the house, that is for women. You just want to make sure say the money run and things can buy and put down and everybody all right. But no, that is just 1/3 of the protection that you need to offer. You know, you want to create that environment at home. Really and truly, we contribute. You know what men talk about, you want to have your peace at home. We contribute to whether or not we get that peace, you know. And so if we play our part in ensuring that that environment is good, then it goes a far way. Because when your family happy, you're happy too. When the place is not toxic, that's good for you, right? You make you want to be home and not want to be out of the house. So yeah, so you want to create a nurturing environment for your family. You know that. So yeah, you're looking for risk, you're setting up safety measures, you watch over your children's activities. These things are so important, because when you look at it, especially when they reach teenage years, you know, kids at that point they don't really want to share a lot with their parents. You know, friends become more important. You know, those are the people that you want to talk to, you want to share things with. But sometimes there are things happening that as a parent you need to know about. And if you don't create that relationship with them, you know, where you can communicate in a certain way, or there is that openness, there's that access to their lives, then there will be things that happen that you just don't know about. And it's when something bad happens, it is coming to your attention that, oh, my child was struggling with this, or this person was involved in my child's life, and you don't know. And it's something that me and my wife always talk about, where once there is a gap, or once there's a vacuum, so meaning if daddy is not present, or when I say present, I don't just mean physically being in the house, but present in a child's life, that creates a vacuum. And what that means is somebody is going to step in. Naturally, they're going to step in and want to take that place. And more times than not, the person who is stepping in is not somebody who means any good for that child. You know, that can be some predator, that can be somebody who lead them down the wrong path, have them engage in activities that you as a parent would not approve of. But why are these things able to happen? Because you left a vacuum. And fathers are guilty of this, especially in Jamaica. I don't care whether or not you live with your kids, you have to be present, you have to be involved in their life. How can you protect them if you're not present, if you're not actively engaged with them? This is not just about making sure some money run and things can buy up. That is just part of it. That don't ensure complete protection. You have to be there, you have to be standing there in that space, being that person that they can turn to, being that person who knows what's going on in his family. As a dad, if you're going to say you're a man of the house, you have to know what's going on in your family. And if you don't know, then are you really the man of the house? You get me? So that is just so important, that you have to be involved in order to protect them from some of these things. knowing about them online habits, them friends, the kind of friends that they keep, that's so important too. Because kids will make good and bad decisions growing up. And you are there to guide them and ensure that they go in the right direction. So you have to know the kind of friends that they have. Who are these people? What is their background? What are some of the things that they do that influences your child? Because kids won't just be influenced by the parents alone. They're going to be influenced by people they look up to, whether it be celebrities, whether it be somebody in the community, whether it be a friend. It can be anybody. So you need to know what is happening, right? Another way too, you're guiding them through life's challenges. So this is another thing that I thought of today as well. You want to teach them how to solve problems. Like, that's actually one way of protecting them. Now, what I mean by that, like, you want to teach them how to survive in this world. You want to teach them how to deal with challenges when it comes up. Are you going to lead them in the direction where when challenges come up, they know that, hey, I need to face these challenges head on. I have to confront it. I can't run when bad things happen. Teaching them coping mechanisms when things go bad. Teaching them skills to overcome obstacles and make good choices. All of these things entails protection. And this doesn't come by simply just talking to them. You have to be able to model it. They have to be able to see it and say, yeah, man, all right, this is what daddy would do. This is what daddy would say. Or they have that relationship where when something going on, them can come to you and say, hey, daddy, say X, Y, Z. And you can pass on something good to them. So, the responsibility of a daddy goes beyond just physical safety. It's protecting your family's emotional well-being, giving them a sense of security. And I might be talking, and some of you're adults just like me, and you may be looking and you say, boy, I wonder if I had that growing up. Maybe I never had that. And now you come to learn certain things, and you say, boy, say real and truly, if they have that still, maybe, I would know how to deal with certain things now. But like how you're aware now, when your time come, or if you're currently parenting, these are some of the things you can look to employ in your parenting. Add to your parenting skills, because these things are important. You want to be the person to teach this to your children. You don't even want it to be school. Like, yeah, school is good, I don't knock school. But it's home. Home is the first place that children learn from. And so you want to create that environment from home where they learn how to deal with certain things, where you can give them some sense of, you want to build them up, you want to give them a tough exterior. You want them to have a little steel, a little backbone in them. That strong character development, that when things happen, they have that perseverance, they have that mental fortitude, that people can't break them easily. Where they going to learn these things from? They have to learn it somewhere, But are you going to be the person to provide that? And that's what I'm sharing tonight, that if you're a father, these are the things you want to provide. You don't want somebody else providing it. Because they might not do it the right way, they might not do it how you would do it, or, you just don't want to run from that responsibility. Because it's an amazing responsibility. And imagine when you get it right, and when you see them grow up to become somebody you can be proud of, and you can say, yeah, man, that is my boy, that is my girl. And you know that you poured into them, you gave them all of these things. And yes, they turn out to be the person who God called them to be. That's, I'm sure, I don't reach there yet, so I'm hoping to get there, but I'm sure that will be an amazing feeling. And just fulfilling your role as a parent, the purpose that God has given you as a parent. Because, I don't believe that when you're a parent, it's by chance. Yes, you maybe never planned for it, or the circumstances around which it happened was not what you envisioned or had in mind, but I don't believe anything is by chance. And if you're a parent, it's because God made that possible for you. Because some people want to be parents and can't be parents, in that sense, right? Or you may take somebody under your wing and you say, yeah, I'm going to pour into that person. Or, it's a relative, but you had to pick up that slack. Whatever it is, you want to know that you poured into that person's life, that you can make a difference. Because, what I hear these days is just so negative regarding fatherhood. And that is why I didn't start the show tonight by highlighting the negatives, because we hear it all the time. We hear about the deadbeat dads. We know about the household where majority women are in the household and the father them missing. We know all of these things, but it's not every man doing that. There are men out there who are doing the right thing. Of course, the media might not highlight it, you might not see it, but it's happening. And I believe to change a nation, it starts with each and every one of us. And if each and every one of us can do things differently, we can not do what our parents did, or as we learn and we get to know better, that we can implement something different in our parenting, then it will make a difference, because you're passing on something positive to the next generation that then they turn around and pass on to the next generation. And that's how you change a society, you change a culture. Doesn't happen overnight, but we have to fight back. As men, we can't just sit back and just allow the culture to just rot, really, and just go down to nothing. We have to take it on. We have to start in our little space, ensuring that we don't add to that statistic. And how are we going to do that? We have to start in our own home. That's what I believe. And we just need to ensure that as men, we just step up. Not something to run from. It's an amazing responsibility. And so we need to ensure that from today, if you haven't been from today, or maybe you weren't doing it well enough, there's the opportunity to improve. There's opportunity to do what our fathers never did and change a generation. I want to share this song. Many of you know it. Original Daddy by Conscience. Enjoy.
Original father. What take a sperm donor? You want to know soldier, how you feel the senior and then neglect your junior. When the pressure reach you, you're gonna beat you. That's why me have to pick up myself, cause me a real father. Overlook the son and don't neglect the daughter. Take care of the responsibility. Never neglect my kidney. You could pick up the man for him a real father. Overlook the son and don't neglect him daughter. Take care of the responsibility. Never neglect my kidney. Your son and daddy are the greatest child. No matter if it is a girl or a boy, you have to take it serious and not die. You have to just it up and money get it rough.
Don't make them tell you nothing. Being a daddy, it's a very great joy. Awesome responsibility. It's not too much, you can do it. Come on, fathers, we can step up, we can do it, we can change a generation. Don't listen to what you're hearing in the media. We can do it. Where some man come from, I know me not understand how them live in a mansion and them people them live in a dumb plan. Mommy say she no see him, he must say I don't feel him. You say I don't feel him. Now look how your son feel about you. Look back at the little girl, she needs to be a mother like she deserves. She's a part of real mother out there, and every day she feels so she's out there. Pick up myself, cause me a real father. Overlook the son and don't neglect the daughter. Take care of the responsibility. Never neglect my kidney. Pick up the man for him a real father. Overlook the son and don't neglect the daughter. Take care of the responsibility. Never neglect my kidney. Even though I can't be there every day, my presence felt anyway. Me
a bit touchy road. Food a bit limit and bills a bit pay. But I never turn my life. Never close my eyes. Never forget. Never regret. That's why me have to pick up myself, cause me a real father. If I love the son and don't regret the daughter. Take care of the responsibility. Never neglect my dignity. Pick up the son, cause me a real father. If I love the son and don't neglect the daughter. Take care of the responsibility. Never neglect my dignity.
That's right. Step up. Take your responsibility. Don't hide on the back. Step up to the plate. We can do it.
Pick up him up for him a real father. If I let him son, I don't neglect him daughter. Take care of the responsibility. Never neglect them beginning.
I'll give you another song. I'll give you a next one. This one name Real Father.
Before me creep and know for walk, teach me a few words and me no know for talk. Could I explain myself, me just know for ball. You be beside me throughout the song. So me have to salute you daddy. You show me what a father is. You never left. In my belly I'm a mother big. When you a plan, you think about my future too. Enough now of you, them talk about the good things, them good I do. But you see when the child born, never take him bicycle right down. For me no see him again. I know about school and all me teacher them. I say my respect goes out to the real father there. I see everything I did for me. It's my thanks me give daddy. My respect goes out to the real father there. I see everything I did for me. It's my thanks me give daddy. And every Christmas and every birthday, when it's the worst day, I remember seeing pictures of my first day.
Yes, respect to all the daddies out there. Sunday coming is Father's Day. Happy Father's Day in advance to all the dads out there. You know what you've been doing over the years, and trust me, we know being a dad is not about the accolades, it's not about the big up them the way you get. It's the things that you do behind the scenes, the things that people don't see, but you keep doing it every day. You do it because you love your children, you love your family, and yeah, you're a real man. So happy Father's Day in advance. Enjoy the day, and I pray that our dads will do the good work out there that God has called us to do. If you haven't been doing it, now is the time, now is the opportunity. Don't stay in the shadows anymore. Step out. Remember, fatherhood is not just about what you do physically, it's not just about money, but you want to ensure that you provide that environment for your children to thrive, to grow up to become good adults in society. And so just bear that in mind, that fatherhood is an awesome responsibility. It's not something to run away from, it's something to embrace. And rewards can be great, because I believe that God rewards fathers for the hard work that they put in, and especially if you're a father whose heart is after God. So I want to say good night to those who are listening over on Presence Radio. Thank you for tuning in, and until next week, God bless.